this Battlefield 5 video on how I aim train. It's a very long overdue. I've said I'd create this for quite some time, but you know, it's how life goes. Anyway, so to start it off, there's this exercise. It's in the test range, very easy to get to, just from the menus. Go into practice and then test range, boom, there you are. Sprint off to the right after flicking the left panel, and you know, here you are in this place where I am now in the video. What I usually do is I'll flick in between the 4 targets. I'll either do that to warm up or I do it to aim train. For warm up, you know, just get that muscle, that thumb working for when I game, when I'm in scrims gaming or whatever. If you're someone that can't flick between 1, 2, 3 targets, that's fine. What you might want to look at is your settings, what feels best for you, or maybe you haven't mastered the current settings that you're using if you've upped them or down them, and that's fine. It just takes time to build up that muscle memory. You know, learning aim doesn't take, you know, a night or two. It takes years or months of practice. I might add, if you don't have a control freak, you might want to go try that out. It's not for everyone, but I'd say on the majority, about 90% of people found an improvement in their gameplay when they started using. If you are someone that can flip between 2 to 3 targets but not 4, that's fine as well. You just got to keep hustling and then the 4 will come along. If you're someone that can do 3 to 4 very comfortably and doesn't struggle, what I like to do is I'll turn on the tanks, and with the tanks I'll hit those 4 targets down, then I'll flick to the tanks and track them with my aim, and that practices my tracking aim as well as my flicking aim. I find it very useful in terms of, you know, practicing aim. If you're shooting at someone and flick to someone that's moving, very useful. I don't know why you would think that's not, but here we are. The main thing you want to practice here is consistency. You want to be able to hit the targets as consistent as possible. You want to, you know, practice on your efficiency, your effectiveness as well. If you want to practice on that, you can't really practice on this though, because it doesn't track how many shots you're putting into, you know, whereabouts on the target and how many shots you need. So that's the limitation of this. You may undershoot in game, but that's also something you should be getting from game knowledge, is how many bullets each person should take. A really important feature of this training is you want to practice putting yourself in situations where your aim is lacking. So you'll notice that I'll be able to hit from right middle to left wide to left middle to right wide very comfortably, but I won't be able to hit left to right wide to left middle to right middle very well, because it's just something that I am not good at, whereas someone else might be really good at that but suck on the other scenario that I just suggested. So next up we have this circle pit, 360 circle, I don't know, 360 circle pit, let's call it, just for the sake of the, yeah, this pit. Anyway, this is a very useful training tool. If you haven't figured it out already, if someone's shooting at you from behind or from a 90 degrees left or right, or from an obscure angle to the left or right, you'll already have that muscle memory to shoot. Also, this is something that you also need to practice in game, because if someone's shooting at you from a specific angle, it just becomes muscle memory. Like, you understand where someone's shooting in terms of like the audio of their shots, and you know where you're receiving damage from. That's more of a game knowledge thing than an aim training thing. So the main objective for this one is obviously hit as many shots as possible. As you can tell, I'm playing on hard, and I'm finding it fairly easy at the moment because it's something that I practice regularly. I like hitting obscure angles. It's something that I've become very good at as I've, you know, started training my aim. And the ways I do this is through 4 or 5 ways. And the first is I'll either warm up or train with just my hip fire hitting the targets, just to get used to the way the gun feels in hip fire, whatever main gun you use, ZK, Stern, whatever. And then following on from that, the second one where I'll aim in and do the same thing. I'll hit my shots, And the reason that is useful is because they're not only aiming at obscure angles, but you're also building that knowledge of aiming before shooting before aiming, and you'll get that weird double recoil thing if you shoot before aiming. The third is I'll be jumping around and I'll either mix it up, so this could be 3 or 4, you could mix it up with hipfire or with ADS. And also with that you can either do the reverse, this would be 5 and 6, you stay stationary and you rotate around, pivot, and you hipfire or aim in. And then the last one is I will just go like all out, just go as high as you can. You know, use Bueno, use aim, use hipfire, just to really start building that muscle memory. Last up we have this this last aiming training tool I rarely use, if I'm going to be honest. It's something that will practice your micro adjustments in your aim. But I might add that this is 50% trying to find the target and then 50% aim. Probably because it's just designed on this rusty wall with this tiny speck. That's probably due to me whinging on my high FOV settings. But anyway, this is useful because if you're struggling to hit targets that are like close together and you may be over aiming or under aiming these targets, or you're hitting a target firstly and then you need to hit a second target that's vertically or downward, this will be useful for that because you're building that muscle memory of getting used to shooting down, pulling your aim down rather than left or right like the first exercise does. And I might add that control flicks will be very useful for this if you don't have them already. Just allow that more range of motion through the lever, but that's a topic for another time. But definitely suggest them if you don't have them. This is one I don't do often just because I purely don't like the way it's set up. I should do it more often than I should, but you know, it's very tedious. It's not very exciting. You're not hitting insane angles like you are with the first and second one, which is why I rarely do it. But if you're definitely struggling with that aim, this is something that will make you become an absolute beast with your aim. Or if you use this with conjunction of the first and second, you'll definitely see an improvement in your gameplay. You guys take something from this video. I know I'm not, you know, the most biomechanical, you know, explanation god when it comes to this, but I think the things I want you to take away from this is it just improves your muscle memory, and if you use these 3 exercises that I've done in the past, or mainly the first 2 compared to the third, you will improve your aim in game. It's just how you use it in the games, how you apply, and I'm happy to make more videos like this to help you guys improve, because I had to do this stuff all alone, or I had to use this short resources that were online for Battlefield improvement that weren't clickbait. So yeah, happy to hear your feedback. If it was shit, then it was shit, but you know, at least I'm making an effort. But yeah, cheers for watching. Let me know how I went.